Well, the F Cancer car has made its way up to Bundaberg, or just outside Bundaberg, to me as part of the world tour. Huge thank you to Harry at Home Racing World and LEB Hobbies for being on board with this. And let's get into it. It is a beautiful car, look at that. G'day, my name's Shane, otherwise known as Gref in the slot car community. And I'm here today to take part in the F Cancer car tour. I was talking to Hub, Shane, a few weeks ago about things and told him a little bit about me, and he spoke to Harry and said they'd send the car up for me to do a few laps and tell my story. So huge thanks to Harry and LEB Hobbies for being behind this and making it happen. It's really good for everyone to get their story out and make everyone more aware, and don't be just so ignorant to certain things. I know I am. Things that happen in your body, you just hope they go away. And part of my story, I'm glad I didn't ignore one time that something happened in my body and I got it checked out. So in 2008, while having a shower one morning, I felt something that was a little bit odd, a lump in an area that it shouldn't have been in. So I went to the doctor, and after some blood tests and some scans and poking and prodding and some invasive stuff, he suspected testicular cancer. So we did further tests, and I went back for an appointment at the end with the official confirmation. Pathology had come back that it was indeed testicular cancer. The markers had shown whatever they'd shown. I've got no idea now. And gave me the letter as my reference to take home, which at the time it just felt really surreal. It just felt like a dream. It's not me. This doesn't happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. I'm bulletproof. But the word in that letter, malignant, drove it home real hard on the way home that day. I pulled into the supermarket car park around the corner from work and sat in the car and just cried, because I thought, well, this is it. This is the way it's going to be, and this is how it ends. All these things cross your mind about what am I going to do between now and then. And I thought I'll make videos for my kids because my kids are really young. And I thought I'll make a video for their 18th, the 21st, 30th, 40th, 50th, etc. Like a happy birthday video that can be played at the time. And it's a really horrible thing to think about, because ultimately the ones that suffer in the end are the ones that are left behind. And so I don't know what the time period was between diagnosis and something actually happening, because it went so quick. I know it was weeks, if that. I was in for surgery, and the next thing that hit home was when I was on the table outside the operating theatre, and the nurse comes out with a texter and starts to draw on me. She put an arrow on my leg and wrote words here and there and everywhere, and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "We're just writing instructions so that we make sure we do the right things and cut the right parts out." I said, "Wow, that's pretty full on and pretty confronting." She said, "Yeah, that happens to everybody." I said, "Thanks for the reassurance," and next minute I'm asleep and I wake up and it's all done. So a few days in hospital, and I was eventually let home, and had some complications the first night home. Ended up back in emergency and back at the oncologist the next Monday, I think it was, and they had to cut the stitches out, and then I had to heal from the inside out. So with an open wound for, I think it was a couple of months at least, the nurse came around and dressed it and redressed it and washed me and stuff, and it was horrible, horrible, embarrassing, uncomfortable, and just, yeah, not good. But the main thing that sticks out in my mind from back then is slot cars. We had a race meet on that weekend. I got out of hospital and I was hell bent I was going to go there. Nothing was going to stop me. And so Ian drove, and Nathan and Jared were in the back, I'm pretty sure. And it was horribly uncomfortable to sit in the car that long with an open wound. And got down there and I had to sit, I think I stood up on a stool, sat on a vertical stool. I couldn't sit down for long. And we raced. It was a great time, great time. A lot of laughs, great racing. It was really, really needed at the time. I was off work for the months while I was healing. Slot cars really, really helped me. Back then I had my 4-lane track and it was analog with an analog pit lane. So what I'd do most days is I'd go to the shed, I'd put the voltage down low on a manageable speed so the cars would drive themselves without crashing. And I'd turn the computer on and run the old start line system with a fuel race. because I had an analog pit lane that had manual flipper buttons in front of each driver station. So when your fuel level got low, you push the button, the car would come into pits, you stop, refuel, and off you go again. So I sat out there for hours every day just playing fuel races with my cars on my own, and that really got me through at the time. The type of cancer that they told me I had, well, I think it was a non-seminoma. And to be honest, I haven't really looked it up since then. Something I'd rather forget about. And they told me it was isolated in one area, and so they recommended a dose of chemo. So I had 1 dose of chemo, and that was horrible. Just this toxic chemical that goes into your body, that the aim of it is to kill one thing, but I think it destroys mostly of everything inside you. And it's good too. So, and from what I hear now, that the cure is worse than the actual problem with chemo, and a lot of people actually suffer terribly because of it. And if there was another way, hopefully that'll come along sometime soon and rid the need to have this put into us. But after 1 dose of chemo, they mentioned radiation, but in the end they said, I don't need it. This would do what was needed to be done at the time, and they would monitor me. So for the next 10 years, from 2008 to 2018, I had regular blood tests, regular CT scans and checks, x-rays, I think I had 2 at the time, and oncologist appointments. I think they were really close together at first, but I think they were spread out to 12 monthly in the end. And so in 2018 I went back for the last oncology appointment at the hospital, and I was given the all clear. I was officially in remission. So that was a huge weight off my shoulders. But in reality, it never leaves your mind. Once that horrible thing called cancer comes along and affects you in one way or another, it's always in the back of your mind. And now when I feel something different or wrong or something like that, it's there. It's like, has it come back? Is it now? Is it going to happen again? And so far so good. But yeah, it's never too far away from your memory, that's for sure. Something I'd rather forget, but unfortunately I can't. So I really urge everyone that's watching this, and anyone they know that's not watching this, that they can pass the message on to, is if something feels wrong, get it checked. If you don't like the response you get or the answers you get it checked again by someone else, because a second opinion is better than one that's not good. Get your blood tests done, get everything checked, get scans done, whatever you need to do, but just make sure that you're on top of what's there so you can tackle it before it becomes a real issue. I was lucky. I got onto mine early. If I hadn't, I probably wouldn't be here making this video, because a lot of the time now, being like most men probably are, we try and ignore things and hope they go away because we're bulletproof, aren't we? But we're not really. And so I think for me, for a while there, this type of cancer, it was, I suppose you could call it, a little bit embarrassing to talk about. And I'd imagine most men might feel like that too. You don't want to talk about these things or what type of cancer it was, because that's your manlyhood. But it doesn't discriminate. And I'm at the stage now where I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. Anyone that's gone through it, that's going through it, that's got any worries about it, reach out to me, have a chat. I'm quite happy to talk about it. Say a little, say a lot. I don't mind either way. Just a reassuring word if you need it. I'm happy to help. But yeah, it's just such a shit thing. And unfortunately, it touches too many of us, whether either directly or indirectly. We either know someone that's affected by it, know someone that's been lost to it, or know someone that's recovered from it. Anyway, enough of the story. I think it's time to put this car on track and see how it goes. Okay, so the car's off, and here's the names behind it. So we've got Harry at the top, Hub Shane, Hughesy from Hughes Garage, Digger, Outlaw, Plucker from Outlaw, Pat Slots Katie, and DG Raceway. So I'll chuck my name on here now as part of the tour. There we go. Go shed 25. So before I do some laps, we'll have a close-up look at the car. It is a really nice car. The World Endurance NSR. It's a beautiful looking Lola, that's for sure. I've actually got one inside I picked up at the swap meet in Victoria. The yellow livery car, but this one is, I think, a limited edition of 100. Beautiful car. Anyway, let's chuck it on track and do some laps. Rightio, let's do a few laps. Apparently the car's straight out of the box and no tuning's been done to it, so... That's running on 10 volts, so not overly powered, but it's pretty nice. I thought looking at the tyres they might be a little bit worn, but they're pretty good actually. There's a spare set of tyres in the box, but I haven't actually checked out whether they're new or second hand. Righto, we'll try that. Ooh, that's better. You'll notice every time it comes around it's on a different lane. That's because I've got the crossover digital section in, because I mainly run digital cars when I'm home on my own. But you can also run it as a single lane analog track. Which is pretty cool. You get to experience every corner differently. That's nice. Look forward to getting mine out of the box and set up. Right, how about we try some fancy angles?